folks, and welcome to the Scholar Review. This is Saturday, June 25th, and we will be jumping into stocks in this particular episode. Yeah, sure, it's an episode. All right, so what I have in front of me right now is the NASDAQ, and I marked this up kind of as my long-term forecast compared to this NASDAQ where it's just gaps, imbalances, and all that sort of thing. Okay, so just to kind of show you where we hit off this week. All right, so let's see, beginning of the week, right here, 19th. Okay, and from there already, we formed an imbalance on the bottom. So great sign that the climb is happening right now. Okay. Unfortunately, because of that climb happening and an imbalance forming, it will need to come back to close that off eventually, right? Seeing where this low is and what we know right now about being in a recession, I definitely see that happening. The only situation being is, depending on where this run ends, right? So first gap to close. My target is around the 30, like the lower part of 13.5. So if we're talking about the IXIC, right, that's about 600 points lower. So roughly around the 13,000 mark is where I see reversal. Okay, so it could potentially pull up to that area and then drop. Okay, and the big basis for that one is just if we take from the last pullback, a draw Fibonacci all the way to the low. As you see where it kind of sits right around that area, right? So that's just kind of what I see for that particular slot. But I'm going to switch that over to the stock side now. Okay. So yeah, still a potential 1,500 points to climb. We could see that all happen in 1 week. And then if it does, that is kind of my red flag. That is the target that I see. If this gap closes off, as you can see, I kind of drew my red arrow there a while back, but I'll just move it over here. I still see it happening there, just maybe a little later. Every single time that climb is going to happen, NASDAQ decides to pull back and go slightly lower. Okay, but anyway, yeah, so target is around that area there, maybe a little bit lower. That seems a little high. Right there we go. That's where I see it hitting. And if it does climb higher, I'm going to be extremely cautious not to take any more buys, simply because it's going to hit in that territory where reversals occur, right? 618, golden zone, etc., etc. So let's jump in. A lot of stocks, as you can see, very green in the last closing day. Carnival Cruise Lines, what a nice cleanup there. Grabbed that one on Thursday morning at $9.52, I believe it was. So that's a very nice increase. Okay. Yeah, don't mean to brag. Yes, I did. Oh, geez, I'm a dork. All right. Anyway, so earnings report not fantastic, right? Big reason why this was actually positive though for Carnival. It's because their earnings were bad for this quarter, but their projections are outstanding, right? That's why it went up 12% kind of in 1 day, and it has a very good potential to go even higher. Okay, so right now. So where was that entry? Around here, like 952. Where did I grab it? Yeah, somewhere around here, right? So it went up 13.9%. Very good climb. So anyway, that was just Carnival itself. There were a bunch of other stocks actually that had a nice move in the last day of trading. All right, let's just quickly jump into there. My drawing should still be up on these pairs. So as you see, oh, hello, notification. As you see, Apple has been steadily climbing over the last 2 weeks. It's a very good sign. You know, they bottomed out at 129 briefly, and then up they went. So very good. As you see, Apple's closing gaps that it formed on the way down, but it's also making new ones, right? So nothing is going to be safe, not even Apple. I do believe that we are going to hit at least this area right here, the 150 mark, before dropping a little bit lower. But we do have a little bit of a gap at 173. It's possible we hit that. I don't think so. That might be very, very exaggerated actually to hit that high within a week or so. AMC still kind of moving slowly. Let's jump in on the dailies actually on these ones. There's no sense in just doing hourlies. All right, so as you see, they bottomed out. They're slowly moving up, just like the majority of the stocks, right? AMD, maybe not AMD itself. 5% on Friday, not too shabby. AMGN, not really. Amazon went up about $4 a share. They've been climbing steadily since June 14th, slightly. They're almost back to their split price of, I think it was $1.24. So they have another $8 to go before they hit that area. I don't see Amazon going past maybe 136, 142. That might be stretching it a little bit. If they do go past that, I'd be very cautious. Definitely bring up a stop loss if you grabbed it this low already. As far as everything goes, like Amazon's not going to be any stranger to the drops, right? So 618 retracement, kind of this area, as high as I think it might possibly go. It could reverse even at that 50%, right? Depends on where the rest of NASDAQ lands. Activision, very nice sideways movement, really. I mean, it had a drop, I guess, earlier on last week, or later on last week, and then a good rise. I mean, it rose $6. It's nothing to brag about, but it's still, very interesting moves that it's been making, and big gaps to fill. Although, surprisingly, as everything's dropping hard, this is going pretty well sideways. Okay, so let's see. Blackrock, they're going to be buying up real estate, I think, as soon as this recession is over. This is going to blow up. Okay, Berkshire went up very nicely. It did a 4% climb on Friday. Very good. Little bit of a rejection, almost getting there. Let's see what earnings report's going to be. That's what they predict, 73 billion. I'm not sure if they're going to beat previous quarter's earnings, but projections sometimes are more important than what is on the piece of paper. Caterpillar dropping harder than any other stock right now. Carnival, like I said, huge win over the last couple of days. That's nice. Costco, a steady climber. Yep, that's why I drew it up, right? I called that reversal was going to happen in that zone somewhere. And beautiful EMA rejection right there off May 20th. It didn't really go much deeper than that, and up it goes. So great way to signify that, right? When we draw this Fibonacci, okay, from low to high, you can see it's just right at that golden zone and up it goes. Okay, so I predict that Costco is going to hit... there's a very good chance that Costco keeps climbing where everything else kind of bottomed off. Like you see, it hit that, what is it, that 618, right? When was the last time it hit that area? Like not even COVID came close, right? Like March, it kind of just went sideways. Nothing really happened. December 2018 came close. 2017, it kind of stayed on that line for a while. And this is when the stock was valued at around 150, 160, right? Wicked through that line. So yeah, I mean, 2008, that was the last time it went through even the brown line, right? The 610. So judging as to where it's at right now, Yeah, this is a very, very strong stock. I don't think that it's going to be dropping lower than what we've already seen right here, which was the lowest of a 406. It already closed the gap after Walmart's earnings, Costco's earnings themselves. Like, let's be realistic, 0.07% down. I mean, yeah, I'm not really concerned about that. Costco's not going anywhere. All right, so reversal happened, very strong. Even EMA shift on the daily candle, so Costco's doing very well. Chevron, bit of danger here actually. Like, it did climb with that original projection, but now it just dropped much, much lower. So let's redo Chevron, because I do believe that overall oil is going to be very expensive. And right now we can see on the daily it's rejecting off that purple line. It's very close to where the white EMA is, which is the 144. Let me just double check actually, because sometimes I change the settings. 233. Okay. So that's the 233 line. It's very close to rejecting off that. I do believe that, if earnings are that bad for Chevron, I do believe that, it's hard to say. Like, oil prices are expensive, but Chevron and Exxon are the American companies that are getting crapped on, right? So policies kind of do all that whole failure stuff. So June 8th is where it peaked, and it dropped significantly from that point on. So let's see, it went already down 22% in about 2 weeks. Not great. Very good potential for recovery, though. We just got to find the right spot from it to bounce up off of, right? So if we're going from ultimate low in the last year or so, it'll be around this area, all the way to the top. So as you can see, we're barely at the 50%. So this does have a potential to drop lower before recovering, right? So we could be seeing maybe 130. If I see anything below 130, that's something I'm going to snag up personally. Disney had a bit of gains. Look at this though, almost closing that gap that was formed a long, long time ago right here in COVID era, right? Almost shutting that gap down, but it just bounced off the top of it, went up. So, do I believe we'll be closing it? Yes, I do. Right? Not only is Disney in a lot of trouble right now with their content that nobody wants to watch, they are not recession proof either. DocuSign dropped a little bit lower than expected. Earnings got hit a little bit on earnings. Oh man, pardon me. It gets late. All right, Dow. Yuck. That hurts to watch. All right, EA. Pretty decent, even though. See, that's the crazy thing about earnings sometimes. It just really depends on projections. Look how steeply it dropped, and then whoop, up it went. While everything's dropping, Electronic Arts decided to climb, how much? 30%? That's always nice. eBay. See, everything's doing its little dip right now and had a very nice climb on Friday. EGLX is no exception. A little bit recovery there too. Facebook, not so much. I mean, it had a good Friday, but a very terrible week overall, right? Frontier Lithium, so they've been dropping pretty hard. I was expecting a pullback way back here, kind of early in June, and that didn't happen. It just dropped hard, right? And again, one thing to keep in mind with Frontier Lithium is they're just about to start mining. Right, so if, let's say, where we go in Safari, new window. All right, let's jump in here, and I'll just Google them, okay? So let's see, Frontier Lithium. Lithium, Ontario, yep, founded 1995. Yep, they have a picture of a Tesla, that's wonderful. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, you can always write a bunch of nonsense in your stuff. That's fine. Lithium products. I don't know what they would have under products. The actual lithium, lithium salts. Anyway, I believe news. Let's see what they're doing. Drill results extend the Spark lithium deposit strike length by 80 meters to the west and discovers a new mineralized zone. June 7th. That was the last piece of news that they actually have. So they're not drilling yet. They're still kind of, what do I want to say? They're still kind of making the entire zone and preparing it for drilling, right? So you could see all the deposits that they are projecting to have. And yeah, and what those show are the boring samples, right? So all they do is they take a whole bunch of core samples and they try to see what comes from where, and they do a big radius to see where the minerals are going to be. So anyway, that is all them right now. Lots of interesting information. Do I see them going lower? Unfortunately, yes, because again, they have no revenue right now. This is all projections. They probably will not have revenue till 2024. However, once everything's up and running and the lithium is being sold, it'll blow up, right? So I would put a price target on this, maybe $12 a share within the next 3 years, right? And if I'm wrong, right? But I'm definitely going to be snagging this up if it drops below $2 again. Like that's going to be a bit of a bargain in my opinion. All right, so let's see. GameStop. See, look, it did not drop as low as it did way back here, right? Way when this crazy trading started happening. It's rejecting off that 987 EMA on the daily. However, what did I say? I said Fibonacci all day long. We drew a fib. Where was it? From here, right? What did I say? From here to the low, right? Fib zone. Look, from here to the low, fib zone. Easy. I mean, GameStop is sadly predictable. Like, it's just, you know, the low, it's kind of hard to gauge where that's going to be. But as you saw, like once it dropped down and made its low and started going sideways, that's a very strong target to make, right? So, you know, for it to go up 68%, that's still fantastic, right? It's a very good gain in the short term. Even if it was just the trading time, let's say you jumped in on May 12th, right, when it bottomed out, right? And it kind of wicked up and did nothing. Maybe even May 20th, sure, right? It dropped 11% and then 2 days later it shot up 56%. You know, if it shot up that much and then I saw it dropping, so let's see on the 1 hour what that would look like, right? Giant green candle followed by red, right? And as soon as I would see that one, I'd be like, okay, I'm done. Right, had my nice run, got 40-something% in a day or two and finished. Right? But like I said, it was going to come up to this area. It wasn't going to break it. Find my videos from way back in March and April. Like I'm saying this every time I go over GME. And it happened exactly as I said. Google. 5% increase, very nice. Yeah, short-term target, I definitely see 2,650 happening. Maybe slightly higher just to close this off. Yeah, could definitely see that happen in the next week or two. Goldman Sachs had a little bit of a bump, but damn, they've been tanking hard too. Home Depot also tanking hard, but finally hit off the black and then rejected. Let's see where we get that black. Before COVID was the last time, and then have we hit that black EMA ever since? Right here in 2011, 2010. I guess this is just kind of recovering from housing market lows, but look, I mean, we're talking a drop from $40 to $17, right? So 57%. That's pretty rough, but ultimately $23 a share isn't, $300 a share. But here's the thing, we are definitely going to be seeing Home Depot kind of revisit the 400s, but maybe not entirely within the next couple of months. It'll definitely get back up there. I would say maybe by 2023, maybe somewhere in the middle, or 2024 early. Right, recession should be kind of gone and done by middle of next year. Recovery on, and again, it all really depends on policy, right? Like if really shit policies are in and hurting the economy, it's not going to rise as expected. It'll just kind of stagnate. Honeywell double bottomed and a lower bottom at that, so it kind of hit the target right here where it came up and then dropped again. So nope. HPQ 8% rise, but at least it didn't make a new low. See, unfortunately, it's not having any earnings right now because they're research and development, like it's still being made. And yeah, it's just a company I like. I don't mind jumping in at the R&D stage. It's a bit of a painful watch right now. Every week or so, I just throw in $20 and buy up a couple shares. Nothing too crazy. I don't really have a huge vested interest in them right now. But I gotta say, if I have a couple thousand shares at 30 cents and they go up to $1.50 again, or even $1.10, very nice gain right there, like 300%. IBM. IBM's looking very good. Like they're weathering the storm pretty well. Consistent. Very unlikely it's going to be dropping back down to 118. Yeah, they've done very well, actually. They're weathering all the fluctuations pretty well. Oh, excuse me again. Excuse me again. Intel. Nothing special. Intuit. A little bit better. It bottomed, but not as low as before. It's a very good sign, like I said. When you have these bottoms, NASDAQ makes a new bottom, but the stocks do not. That's a very good one to keep an eye out on, right? So it didn't make a new bottom, and now it's climbing higher, almost as high as it was right here. And you can see NASDAQ's only about halfway up, right? So very good sign. Johnson & Johnson. A couple of crazy days. Let's see, within a week, it kind of went up. It looks crazy, but it's only 7%. All right, Merck, a similar story there. I think it's just 7% too. A little bit more, I guess, 11. Microsoft, yeah, they're dropping just like everybody else right now. Netflix, like I said, the newer low is higher than the previous low, and NASDAQ is reversed. So Netflix appears to be in a pretty decent recovery. Like I think they bottomed out at the 160 price. If it drops around maybe 175 or lower, I would say it's a very smart time to snag a couple shares up. For me personally, that's what I'll do. That's all I can really say because, as stated many, many times before, I am not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to buy or not to buy because it's not my area of expertise, right? That is between you and your financial advisor to discuss, which hopefully will be part of my crew sometime soon. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyway, NEO, little bit of a recovery too. We've seen the climb. Let's see, the lowest point it hit, and it's up 105%. That is great. 105% since May. The May lows of $11. But yeah, as far as when people invested in there, I mean, it's still got a ways to go, right? Quite the hole it dug. Nike, slightly higher than before. Nvidia, not really doing what expected before. It had a very nice sharp move upward right here, and then it's just been painful to watch Nvidia go. Pinterest, good move on Friday, I guess, 7% in one day, but you know, as you can see, every time it kind of hits that pink EMA, it rejects and goes down. So I'm gonna wait until I see a close above that EMA before I jump in on Pinterest. PayPal, you know, the target zone is right here, anywhere from 139 to 172. That's almost double of where it's at right now, a little bit more than double actually. Yeah, 124%, 123. Definitely possible to happen, but sadly, I just don't think we've bottomed out yet. You know, bottom might be looking at 69, just a little bit lower. Still a very good price to snag it up though. I mean, 77, 69. You know, it's only a difference of less than 10%. 10%? Let's see. 77, 69, 10%, almost exactly. Yeah, so that's not too shabby, right? Pyrogenesis. These guys are like the head of HPQ. They are also in research and development phase. Good potential. Roblox. My goodness. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's got gaps to fill. This definitely is going to run up eventually. Not a bad price to get in right now at 36. Roku. Roku's my baby. I got in at 76. Loving this climb. Very nice. Or was it right there? Right, so up almost 30%. Or 31%. Very good. Spotify. Yeah, it's not bad. It's been moving almost sideways actually from that last push upward. But as you see, every time it gets close to pink EMA, rejects. We'll be seeing once it crosses that area. So SPX, you know, you saw the Friday recovery like everything else. Funny enough, I drew that up on a previous video. It shows all of the drops on the SPX, you know, every time. It's identical drop to what happened. Oh, geez, come on. What happened in COVID? 1,197 point drop. And how much was this one? Like I said before, 1,180. So we're 17 points off this time. Like again, it's definitely possible it'll go down lower, as we've seen everything else with that, but very strong kind of rejection off this, and the climb ensued. So when we look at the SPX and we do a fib retracement, right? Actually it'll be off this one because we already had the pullback. So once it goes there, 618, so around 4,200, 4,250, before another reversal going down. Let's see, Tesla. Yeah, so I should have drawn right there. There we go. Moved it over a couple of weeks later. So yeah, this is what I can see right now. It is going to have a short-term climb. Again, I'm hoping is the wrong word to say, I guess. I would say wishful thinking. I don't think that's going to hit $1,000 again in this run. It might come up to maybe 900 tops. Yeah, I just can't see it breaking that. Not right now, anyway. Could be wrong. Based on what we've seen in the past right here, it's a definite possibility. Visa, not much excitement, but yeah, again, rejection off that black EMA. Walgreens, not great. Walmart, not great. Exxon, similar to Chevron, right? We're going to have that same dip before a climb. And then oil and Dow Jones. So the Dow, nice recovery on that day, rising 800 points. You know, but as we've seen in the past, it can rise 890, 900 points, and then the next day drop 850 points. So it erases the entire climb. Well, it's actually, it dropped further than that, right? Because if we're talking from where the previous day closed to the next one, actually dropped over 1,000. So yeah, not fantastic. That's kind of my concern right now. Where is it going to open on Monday? All right, so that's charts in a nutshell, everybody. I hope that helped. And like I said before, if there's anything you want to see specifically me analyze as far as potential target, because right now I'm just, I've done my targets. As far as the long terms go, we're talking holding for several years, right? Stocks aren't something that I want to be in and out of that often. I'd rather get it at a very good price and hold, because especially if I believe in the company's fundamentals, like Carnival Cruise Lines, I worked for that company before. I know what they're about. I think they're very solid. They have good fundamentals, good leadership. I don't see them losing over 100 ships in the next near future, right? And they buy out all their ships, so they're not leased, right? That's a very important factor to consider, because once the ships are straight bought, there's nothing that they are owing to banks, and they sell the ships once the life is gone and done, right? They still recoup a ton of money. So, their business plan has been working. They are one of the largest, the largest actually. I mean, no other cruise line owns over 100 ships with a bunch of brands underneath them. Oh, thank you, alert. So yeah, anyway, hope that's been helpful. If, again, one more time, if there's anything that you would like me to specifically look at, please let me know, and I will definitely jump in on that on the next chart review. Until then, guys, take care.